All right, everybody, we are back. And we are working on Val and Steve's freshly powder coated 25.3, 25.2 chassis for their drag and drive 2010 Camaro. See, we've got all this taped off because I've got to get outside and brave the Florida heat, beat the rain, and spray paint, or it's not spray paint, it's actually that lizard skin application. We talked about it in a previous video. Just go back and check that out if you hadn't, where we showed the progression of this thing being powder coated. It was kind of a neat video if you guys have never seen the complete powder coating process. So Eddie's back from being sick.
Wow.
Faking being sick.
Whoa, I was definitely sick. Trust me, I don't like spending days away from you guys.
Aww.
That one hurt. That one stung.
All right, we're gonna get to it. All right, well, while you're here, please subscribe to the channel. Check your subscription because there has been a few people, I get a message like a couple times a week that they were unsubscribed. You'll see it in some of the comments down below some of the videos. Not everybody gets unsubscribed, obviously, because there's still 300,000 plus of you that at least are subscribed. A good bit less that watch the videos, but you know, that's all part of it. But comment something down in the comment section. What should we comment about? How much is the lizard skin gonna add? How much weight is the lizard skin gonna add to the inside of the body? I'll have to weigh out, weigh it before and after, which I think I got an idea on how to do that without actually re-weighing the complete body. But we'll show you that later in the video. But yeah, we've got some things to do while the body is off, and it's a heck of a lot easier to fit like these center carbon fiber pieces when there's nothing in the way. So that's what we're doing back here, and then Eddie is working on finishing up the passenger side seat mount
with our brand new HTP welder. This is a workhorse right here.
Yeah.
With the water cooler.
I haven't talked about that yet.
Oh,
like, well, the night we unboxed it, like, I had to go.
Oh, we didn't do our weld off?
Yeah, we didn't do our weld off.
Y'all
so
were scared? Scared to catch the smoke?
Yeah.
Scared, boy? Whose foot are you? Can't hear you from all the way down there, bud.
So we did get us a new HTP welder. And it is their latest unit, and it's fancy. It does things that we don't even know just how good it is.
Because it just seems like we know what we're doing.
It does things that are just really cool. So definitely some of the pulse features are really nice. We're gonna do a weld off. Like, I've been planning on doing a video just on that, where we kind of do a welding competition thing, but we've been so busy traveling and Eddie's little mini vacation. Oh yeah, people want to see your Code Brown video, by the way.
Oh yeah, I didn't send that to you. I'll send it.
I don't think you sent it to me.
Hey,
yeah, I didn't.
Kevin, you should put in the video the clip of his, what was it? It was Nürburgring?
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about, doofus.
Definitely put that clip in the video.
So, and then we had the New England 900 a week or so ago, whenever this video comes out. And we just haven't had time to talk about this thing. You can see we already put some stickers on it, because who doesn't have stickers on their welder? I mean, I think we have stickers on every welder in the shop. And the door, our new door over there, like, it's gonna be covered in stickers eventually. Every time we get a sticker in, we just stick it on the door and keep on going. But I'm avoiding the inevitable. I gotta go outside and deal with that.
Ah, ain't no AC outside. Not like in here, nice and cool. Isn't it funny that like you paid for the AC and now you gotta go inside? While we're in here?
Why don't you go crash again in the Nürburgring?
That would hurt.
All right, back to work. All right, well, let's get the inside of this body lizard skinned and insulated. And I did just want to remind you guys that if you have not taken advantage of our discount code at Factor, it is winwithksr50 at factor75.com. And if you guys need to feel better like I have after I've started regularly eating the Factor meals, highly encourage you to do so. I know it's kind of a extra ad and not even a sponsored video, but I tell you, as I get older, I notice that I just don't feel as good throughout most of the day. But anyways, we are getting the inside of this thing lizard skinned, and you may notice that I don't have a mask on or anything. Well, the lizard skin stuff goes on and sprays so thick, it's not like it's a mist in the air. I should probably still have a mask on or a respirator, but the wind was blowing pretty good and I was already hot enough that day. I'm kind of making excuses. You know, this is one of those like don't be like me situations. If you guys are using some lizard skin on your own car, you should probably use a mask. But this stuff is a textured paint, and from what I've heard, it actually kind of traps some air as it's being applied, like as the gun does, whatever the spray gun does. It traps some air into the paint as you're blowing it on, which gives it texture, and it adds an insulating factor to the you know, the inside of the body. Which, with this being a drag and drive car and not having air conditioning, I kind of felt like it was a good idea to put a little extra effort into insulating the body, keep Val at least a little bit cooler with you know, doing the insulation there. Supposedly it can be up to 30 degrees cooler. I saw a video that Rutledge Wood did where he said it made his panel truck run way cooler inside of it. So if that works on this, you might just have to see this going into the Cutlass. We've actually done lizard skin on a couple of cars, including that Chevy 2 we did a couple years ago, and it definitely made a difference. So, well, we're getting it wrapped up. Took me a few cans of paint, but we're all done. All right, well, the inside is now insulated black. That was a hot job. I am drenched in sweat right now, but it looks awesome. And I'm not going to touch it just yet, although I did spray a little test spot on here. Yeah, it's still a little tacky. But I'm kind of curious because I know the cars that we've done this to before, it definitely makes them more solid sounding. Oh yeah, definitely. That was more tinny before. But it's time for us to get this thing back inside real quick because it's about to rain, because it's Florida. And that's what it does. Yeah, Florida. And next move, we're working on some stuff in there, which maybe I'll show some of that. And then, yeah, we'll be putting this on later in this video. But for now, we're gonna drag it back inside. All right, gotta stop talking. All right, well, we are on to time-lapse number 2 of this video. And there's a lot that happens in this section, but some of it you can't really see. The camera kind of ended up a little bit farther back, but you can at least see kind of some of the methodology of stuff we've got going on. Like, I'm kind of guiding Ricky a little bit on fitting some of the carbon panels, and somewhere in here we realized that I guess it's the weave pattern in the carbon doesn't line up the same all the way through. So we decide at some point in here that we need to redo the center panel. And bummer is that one, you know, that's the one that's right dead center when you're looking down into the car from the backside here at least. But at least it was one that was fairly easy to remake. The center piece that is kind of towards the front of the back half, like that one was a little difficult because there's some bars that kind of get in the way there, as far as like they just get in the way of where the carbon's going to go, kind of on the corners, and then getting the piece of carbon all the way in through the roll cage bars definitely was a little bit of a challenge. But while he's working on that, Eddie is working on the passenger side seat mount. And looking back, I wish I had done the passenger seat just like we did the driver's side seat mount, which was just to have the threaded inserts, and then we used adjustable seat side brackets that give the seat more adjustability, and honestly took a shorter amount of time than what it took to fabricate this custom one-off seat bracket and seat belt anchoring mount, I guess you could call it. And the original design, or the original plans for the build, was that the passenger side seat was going to have a water tank kind of built into the bottom side of it. So it wasn't going to be a more standard seat type mounting like we did on the driver's side of the car. And with the driver's side of the car, we put all of those anchors in before we put the floor in. So now that the floor was in, once we changed the plan on the car, the floor was already in on the passenger side. The plan was to put threaded inserts onto the top of the inner frame rails that stuck through the floor. But then when Steve and Val bought the car, now it's kind of a different plan. So it kind of just messed things up. And I mean, it's not that it's a bad situation, it just took us longer to build the seat bracket for the passenger side. The one good thing is that it ends up being a little bit lighter, because all of the extra threaded inserts into the chassis like we did on the driver's side were heavier than what we did on the passenger side. So at least there's that. All right, the time has come to put this inside of the body. What are y'all doing?
We're coming back inside. It's hot out there.
Oh my gosh. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
3, 2, 1. Going up.
AC, no. Ooh, this thing's hot.
It's really hot in here.
Well, that only affects you, so. Not our problem.
Where are you going through?
Why are y'all going so far forward? Goodness.
You didn't say clear. You're supposed to yell clear. Dang, look at that paint job. Dang, who did that?
That's me.
Good job.
It's very hot in here.
It's probably like a little greenhouse in here, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's definitely warm in here. Well, we can knock the we can take the tape off the windows. That'll let some of the heat out.
And right into our AC shop.
Yeah, well, you know. At least it's towards the end of the day. Yeah. Ooh.
I opened this little hole.
Whoa, Nelly.
Oh, wow.
That was actually kind of scary. I was not ready for that. Yeah, the lizard skin definitely has the texture
It does
to
have
it.
some texture to it, for sure.
Why did we tape the door thing off when it's melted. What?
On one of the holes, like the lizard skin, yeah, see how the lizard skin stayed?
Oh yeah, it filled the hole.
And you can peel off of that.
All right, well, that's looking like something.
It's so satisfying.
Almost as good as pulling the carbon off. Dang, that does look pretty good. I mean, yeah, it looks perfect. Yeah.
Perfect, yeah.
Oh, we gotta get the pole cut out of it and then spritz a little just paint on that.
Not Eddie's pole.
My pole? How's that mine? Oh, did that come out of my Ranger?
No, it was a joke.
Part of your 700-pound bed cover?
It might be.
All right, I'm gonna switch us to time lapse and we're going to get ready to put the body on. So, well, let me show what we've changed on this. All the carbon center pieces are in, the anti-roll bar in, a little snug, but it moves. The brake line is through the chassis, flared on this end. That's still just sitting there, which probably gonna take that out of there so we don't scratch nothing. Eddie was working on the back brace for this seat. It's bolted down right now, just kind of like finger tight. See, we got the anchors for the seat belts, and then this, you can kind of see this bar that goes under right there. Yeah, right there. So that's where the crotch belts are going to come through, which it don't really need crotch belts on the passenger side, but they're there. We had them, we installed them. And I put the battery in. And we have been weighing every piece as we've been putting it in.
Ricky put the anti-roll bar in?
I already said that.
Oh, my bad, I didn't hear you.
Weren't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention to you. I try not to, actually.
I kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it moves.
That thing's sick.
That's a big, beefy anti-roll bar.
It's got
And then once
curve.
we put the tubs on, we'll be able to put the arms on. But we still have to do a little bit of fitment to the tub where it gets close to the body, so. Oh yeah, and I painted the front of the frame house. Look at that. Ooh,
You missed a spot.
That's
Right there.
because we haven't finished body working the firewall and cutting holes in it and stuff. Ooh, it got kind
That's
of
that hot
dull.
rod.
That's interesting. Yeah, either it orange peeled a little bit, which it looked shiny when I first put it on.
Well,
Maybe it's...
doesn't all paint do that? Did you clear over it or no?
No, that's just a single stage.
We're still gonna paint over it again. Gotta paint the whole firewall over.
All right, time for a time lapse, and we're gonna put the body on. All right, so it's the final time lapse of this video, and this is a big deal. Body going back onto the chassis, and we kind of got our deal worked out where we lift the body with the the car lift, and then we're gonna slide the chassis up underneath it. But we have to lower the chassis all the way down to the floor, and we're gonna find out here in a second that we changed something. So you see me put the spacers in there under the lift feet, slide a 2x4 in to lift across the front bars, thinking everything's all good and everything's just the way it needed to be, the way we did it before. And then here in a second, we're gonna find out that we don't get the body high enough. So we're gonna roll the dolly outside, get the lift up as high as it can go, that's where it's at right now. And then we try to roll the body, or roll the chassis up underneath the body, and it's like 2 inches from clearing. Hate it when that happens. So now we decided to lower it back down and kind of just pick it up by hand and install the lift spacers, and then that should give us 3/4 of an inch of clearance, because I think those spacers are 3 inches tall. So kind of a little bit of a delay on the excitement for us as far as getting it all put together. but we get it swiveled in place, and this is kind of the critical spot, like, you know, getting the body down on top of it, getting it lined up, because there's a lot of bolt holes that have to line up. You know, we've got bolts at the end of the dash bar, we've got bolts on or off of the main hoop that kind of bolt into a welded nut in the ceiling. There's 4 bolts along the rocker, 2 at the front, 2 at the rear. There's another 4 bolts at the end of the frame rails, 2 on each side. And then up top where those angled bars bend back to the firewall, there's 4 bolts on each side there. So quite a few little bolts to get lined up, and it takes all of us kind of just tweaking it, moving it, wiggling it until we get everything to line up close enough to slide it down there all the way, and we're gonna start putting some bolts in it. Well, would you just look at that? Would you just look at it? Yeah, it's exciting stuff. So seats were just in temporarily, but we figured we would go ahead and at least drop the body back on because they weren't in the way of us dropping the body on. We put the seat in because Eddie was working on making that seat mount, and we wanted the angle of them to match and everything. So the next step we've got to do is do just a little bit of shimmying to get the body back exactly where it needs to go. Basically right now it's resting kind of on the firewall junction as well as the tabs in the roof. So the bolts up there have been started, and we ended up switching those to bolts and put a threaded nut in the body. So we've got that to work on. Those feet down there aren't quite touching the body, so we're gonna work on pulling the body back just a little bit. It's like, you know, 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch, but just everything's kind of just a little bit flexible. We did get these bolts started back here. These are started here. Still got to go in and peel off some of the tape. But I need to lift this thing up and get the cart back under it because it sounds like it's about to rain outside again. Welcome to Florida. Every day it rains. Which it has seemed like it's been raining more this year. Maybe, I don't know. My grass was so tall because it's working late, and then on the weekend we had to go to New England and win a New England 900 race, but we won a lawnmower, which I am supposed to be going to pick up, I think, maybe this weekend. We'll have to see. But I have to see how all that works out once we once I finalize the plans with Josh. I know the model and everything that I picked wasn't fully assembled or some kind of something. But anyways, I really think that looks good. The black on the interior, the silver kind of pops off of it pretty good. Tape doesn't look the greatest right now, but that's to keep us from tearing it up. Hopefully it's not actually touching. Oh, it just ripped. I'll have to figure out what's going on with that. But tomorrow we will get, like I said, we'll get the body permanently mated, and then starts the fitment of this. So that'll be in the next Val Morris Camaro video when this billet SMX goes in between those frame rails. So that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys haven't already and you're interested, go check out our code at Factor. It's win with KSR 50 at factor75.com, I believe. Link in the, like, at least I'll put the link here or something. But they didn't sponsor this video, but it's actually, you know, been helping me out quite a bit, so I figured I'd mention it again in another video. But thanks again for watching, subscribing, commenting, sharing. See you guys in the next one.